Let's start, first of all, with question number one about this basketball team. Heroes everywhere. You look in the big picture of this roster, it's a jigsaw puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
And how Brian Dutcher has put this jigsaw puzzle together is amazing. NCAA tournament, are you healthy? Are you hot? This team has come together. They have won 19 of their last 21 games. I think the most amazing thing to me is, regardless of what's up there on the scoreboard, they don't rattle. They don't fall apart. They find a way, and they find a hero. It's like it's a different hero every game they play in this run through March Madness. Let's just talk about what happened in the Florida Atlantic game. Up by 9, bingo. Hit threes out of the gate, which you never, ever see. Matt Bradley drained 3 threes right out of the gate, gave San Diego State, which turned out to be a nine-point lead. And then they fell apart, and they stopped shooting. I thought there might have been a mistake made when Brian Dutcher sat Matt Bradley down after the hot hand start, because when he came back, he wasn't the same player. And Florida Atlantic whittled the lead down. And then all of a sudden, it was a 14-point Owl lead over San Diego State. And I thought to myself, how are they going to come back from that? Where are they going to find the offense to make that happen? They didn't need the offense because the defense is what made it happen. And they clawed their way back into the game. They had a 35-12 run in the second half, triggered by the bench bunch and just the completeness of what they were doing on defense. Jaden Ledee had 2 baskets in a 28-second span. A.G. Arope, 4 baskets second half after looking like he was overwhelmed in the first half of the game. The guards, Bradley found his stroke late in the game, and they rallied this thing back. And there was just no give whatsoever in terms of the level of intensity. It was vintage San Diego State basketball. Heroes everywhere, and obviously the Butler did it. Lamont Butler's drive downhill to the corner, stopping when he did not have the baseline to drive to, coming back out, one bounce, straight up, shoulders squared, makes the shot, drains it with a guy in his face and his hands up. I mean, it was an unbelievable play, and just the eruption on the floor there, the eruption back here in the stadium at Petco Park was just absolutely amazing. So I just think when you look at San Diego State, they don't fall apart. They don't rattle. They surely don't get intimidated. Don't talk to me about your three-point shooters. Don't talk to me about your fast tempo offense. Don't talk to me what you're going to do on the block, because my guys will find a way to get it done. Do you know this, John? San Diego State has won games at crunch time by 2, 2, 2, 3, 1, and 1. Included in that, 4 buzzer beater victories.
Wow.
It's just an amazing team. Okay, I've given you my whole sense of the Aztecs, how they got to this point, what they did to win this final game. Your reaction?
It's when that ball went in, when Butler hit that shot, I mean, we were just going crazy and we couldn't believe it. It was like a dream when that went down. I mean, they got to take that photo and it's going to be etched in people's memories forever. You know, people are saying, put it in the Louvre, you know, it's so magical. And to think that his foot almost went out of bounds. I mean, it was millimeters. I mean, that would have been so San Diego if his foot had gone out of bounds and we would have lost the game. But boy, did they come through. And yeah, Matt Bradley was red hot to start the game. But, you know, Dutcher usually brings in those subs around the 14, 15-minute mark, and Bradley sits, you know, so it all worked out. I mean, I'll tell you what, Dutcher always kind of cooks up a plan, and every game it's someone new. And this time it was Butler.
He knows how to hit the hot buttons. And I asked him once upon a time during the season, do you intentionally go to your bench bunch 5 minutes in just to get them into the rhythm and flow of the game? And he said, yeah. And so he said, sometimes I go to the bench bunch to find out who's playing with great confidence and whether I can rely on them and trust them if I have to go back to them later in the game. But I really thought to myself, you're sitting Matt Bradley now after he has done what he just did. But it did work out because the bench bunch came back and kind of bailed them out. And the defense clawed their way back from a 14-point hole. You know, conversely, the first half of the game, I thought Florida Atlantic handled the pressure really well. I don't think they were intimidated by the Aztec guards.
Yeah, they weren't.
Ball movement side to side, down on the block to the Russian center, got some close-looking baskets. The other unique thing, Ledee and Mensah had 7 fouls in the first half.
Mhm.
Never committed a foul after that, because I was worried about, are the big guys going to get taken out and have to sit for extended periods? They changed their game. And what they did defensively, they did not draw fouls. And then slowly they just started to come back, and bingo, there we were. Absolutely tremendous. San Diego State is 32-6. And look at the people they've run out of the tournament, and they've done it with their calling card, in your face defense.
Yeah, I mean, this is just so fabulous. So, they bring in the guys off the bench, and like every game, it's someone different. But to your point, I agree. I thought some of those fouls that they were getting in the first half on our big guys, they seemed kind of ticky-tacky. They didn't seem like they were really hitting them hard. And I was really worried that, if we lost one of our bigs, I mean, it changes the whole complexion of the game. But man, I mean, just that sequence in the second half where they got all those offensive rebounds off of the free throws and just held possession for like 2 or 3 minutes. I mean, that just really just sucked the air out of the room, for FAU.